was one issue that came up, and also the challenges that some people who had housing pre-1994, what happens to them in this new dispensation? Well, let's find out from MEC for Housing in Gauteng, MEC Mamabulo, his thoughts on this challenge that people are facing. MEC?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, speak.
First, let me just clarify the point about, can I start with Winterfeld?
Yeah, all right. We're not getting that microphone. Is there another microphone floating around? Let's just get that one there. There we go.
Yes, I was saying, with your permission, I would like to just start with the question on Winterfeld and go to title deed. First, let me acknowledge the point that we do have challenges in the area of Winterfeld. I've been there myself. I've seen what the issues are. But it's important to remember that Winterfeld, which is in the city of Tshwane, is one of the areas that have been declared to be our urban renewal program, together with Alexander, Begastad, and Everton. So we do have a dedicated focus to improve the living conditions of the people in Winterfeld. Currently, we have appointed a contractor to finish the houses that have not been allocated for a very long time because of poor quality of work that was done. We do have issues of rectification of the mistakes. A deputy minister spoke about making sure that we don't spend our money to sort out issues of poor quality. I can assure you that with the service provider that we have put there now, we are going to hand over those houses before the end of July. We will have handed over those long outstanding properties in the area of Winterfeld and intensify and improve work that we're doing. I also want to clarify that it is not true that we have neglected to service that area. I've been there, I've seen very good houses. Winterfeld doesn't look the same anymore, but I agree that we need to improve. The issue of title deeds, and Minister in DG can add on that. We have taken a decision as MECs working with our Minister and Deputy Minister that we must improve the delivery of title deeds, link them to the handing over of houses to the stands, and make sure that we also eliminate cases of corruption and manipulation. The other problem is we are sitting in our different municipalities with a huge number of title deeds that are not being collected. So we need to call on our people to know, once you are notified and called upon that your title deed is out, please do take the initiative to go and collect it. So there is also a need for public education to make sure that our people come and collect title deeds, because historically our people are not used, and this is because of the past, to issues of title deed, its significance and importance, and it's part of the challenge that we have to make sure that our people now understand how important the title deed is over and above brick and mortar delivery. A title deed is very much important. So we're working on those issues, and I can assure you we will make improvements in due course on Winterfeld. Thanks.
All right, okay. I believe the EAB is here as well. And I was just wondering if they could comment a little bit on that, because we've got poor Selo Mashabelo saying, why does it take more than 10 years to get RDP title deeds? This is hampering development of RDP locations. If we can get a representative, you could just say your name, and if you could share your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Peter. My name is Brian Chaplock, the CEO of the State Agency Affairs Board. And it's the Minister has allocated the overall task of this implementation, trying to eradicate the backlog of this title deed challenge in South Africa. So there's about 900,000 title deeds that's in the backlog area. And we have now, with the department, implemented a strategy of fast-tracking the delivery of all of those outstanding title deeds. There are various challenges, and those challenges are now being put into various categories of what we can achieve in the short term, what we can achieve in the midterm, and what we can achieve in the long term. So where there are issues of beneficiary occupation issues, where maybe the intended beneficiary is passed on And that specific title deed now is sitting in a process of the will being wound up, or in the master's office. There are different challenges trying to deal with that because it's stuck in a different process. But then we have the other low-hanging fruit where we are able to identify the proper beneficiary and then deal with what our MEC was saying. There are challenges where beneficiaries have not responded to the call for their title deeds, and we're both on 3 levels, local government, with the province, with the national department. We are working now with all the stakeholders in the various provinces to actually fast-track the delivery. So we are reporting on a very regular basis to the department, into the various structures, working with all provincial steering committees, national committees, working together with the deeds office, working together with the Surveyor General's office, working together with all those beneficiaries to ensure that we fast-track that. We're making good progress on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. We've also got the portfolio chairperson, Human Settlements, Notrawe Mafu, in the house. And I just want to get a comment from you. Which table are you? Yeah, your responsibility is to keep this lot honest. I'm just wondering, your thoughts when they appear before you and you have to deal with some of these issues. Where are we with human settlements?
Thank you, Peter, and good morning to viewers. As part of our oversight role as the Portfolio Committee, the public would know that we call both the department and the ministry time and time again to come and appear before us, because we would want to understand what is it that they are doing and how far are they doing their job. Our sense is that in terms of policy, the department is doing very well. Of course, as you have heard, 98% of the budget goes to provinces and go to municipalities. We still are very unhappy and uncomfortable as the Portfolio Committee as to what and how much budget is the provinces and the municipalities are using. We would want a situation where when they come before us, they tell us that we have used all our budget. We have spent 100%, we would want more money. We are sitting at a situation where we still have rollovers. And for us, that is not acceptable. They must use all the money that the government has given them. They must deliver. We can then go and knock on every door and ask for more money, rather than being told that we did not use the money that they have been given. Our job, therefore, we always hammer them on this. You might have heard, even in the debate, when we had to name and shame some of those municipalities that have not used their money. We want a situation where 100% spending is done, and of course, that must be linked to what we see as the output out there in the communities. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much indeed, Chairperson. So, why is it that we've got this underspending, especially when we're a country in desperate need? What's going wrong?
That is exactly what we are grappling with as a department, because at the end of the day, for us to get more funding to build houses, we must show that we are able to spend. If we have underspending, there's no way that we can go to Treasury and negotiate for more money. Hence, we are focusing on the issue of capacity. What we have done as human settlement, we've moved in terms of professionalization of human settlements. We have made agreements with VETS, the governance school. We have made agreements with Mangosuthu. We have a degree of human settlements at Nelson Mandela University. Justin Forte, they're also having a degree of human settlements. So we're sending our professionals, our officials, to these courses so that at the end of the day, we ensure we have the category of civil servants who can deliver in terms of human settlement, because the issue of capacity in human settlement is very, very critical. Without the ability to spend the money, we will not be able to fulfill our target of 1.5 million housing.
So are you saying that we've got the wrong people sitting in these jobs at the moment?
Not necessarily. You must remember, we were Department of Housing, and now we're Department of Human Settlements. There's a shift. Say you need a mind shift Definitely, you have to take people through a process to have an understanding that we cannot operate as a department in silos. For us to be able to fulfill our mandate, we need other departments. So the issue of IGR is critical, but you need officials that have that kind of an understanding. Also, the fact of liaising with communities, aggressive consumer education, you need officials who have an understanding that we're not going to sit in offices, but we're going to be out there and be with people and make things work.
So the ones that don't perform and are untrainable, maybe, are we going to get rid of them?
Did you answer this question?
I don't think so. I don't think we can have in our professional space professionals are not trainable. But by virtue of being part of human settlements in the professional environment that we are at, surely we need to de-skill and skill people differently because there's a paradigm shift in the manner in which we do our assignment. But one of the key things that are also beginning to affect our delivery models in terms of financial spending is the whole integrated approach that we are now working on. The planning cycle has changed completely from the manner in which we perform our function. We need local government to be on board. You need the provision of basic services to be part of the entire modeling for your delivery, which is something in the past we have never put at ourselves that much about. We are very much clear now we can never deliver a human settlements project without basic services being provided. That includes water, that includes electricity, that includes roads, that includes social amenities. So our approach is more holistic. So it has actually brought into the picture a new paradigm shift of our delivery model. And we're getting into that gear slowly because our approach is more integrated than before. And that requires a much more technical planning to be on board. So all that we are doing in the sector is to begin to look into this quite seriously and put different systems to assist us to deliver and use the budget that we have at our disposal much more effectively. And we are getting into that gear.
Okay. Tami Kanyile is on table number 23. Table number 23, Tami is there with a question about alternative building methods.
Thank you, Peter. Greetings to Honorable Deputy Minister and the DG. I appreciate the commitment of our government in terms of the partnership with the private sector. But I just want to know what is the plan of government in involving consultants who have vast experience in alternative building space. And obviously the contractors that have proved themselves that they have built houses and other social infrastructure because the backlog that we have in this country, obviously it is clear that it's not caused that there are budget constraints. Obviously there are budget constraints, but we don't have artisans. So using alternative building technology, which is not really dependent on skilled labor. So I just want to find out from our learned colleagues, what is the plan then of government moving forward? Thank you very much.
Okay, your thoughts?
Yes, we are, as a department, promoting the use of alternative building technologies. In fact, we have the Eric Muloi Center in Soshanguve to exhibit that. And we have NHBRC who's been given that sole responsibility of ensuring that the issue of building technology is taken seriously. And we are urging provinces to make use of the building technology because alternative building technology, it makes us build houses faster and they are quality housing. But the difficulty that we're having at the moment is the material. Because if you are to build houses on the economies of scales in that regard, you need factories that are able to produce that material so that we are able to build more houses. That is why if provinces agree to build houses of alternative technology, it will be much better because we will be able to negotiate it with the trade and industry to have those factories built.
So, on the back of alternative building methods, I'm just wondering, is there a paradigm shift in terms of the way we build, because I don't see a lot of high rises anymore. When I first arrived in Joburg, I lived at Ponty City, and that was one of the few sort of high rise type of things. Are we going to see that kind of development in the future?
Definitely, we are using different methods of attending to our challenge of backlog, and the usage of alternative development technology is part of our area of focus, as the Deputy Minister has alluded to. There are quite a number of projects, Peter. We may take you to some of them where we are using high-rise because of the limited space that we had in strategic areas. Because one of the key things that we are doing is to make sure that where people are being settled, it's conducive for living and they're within the economic opportunities and other services that they require. The most important, though, is the mindset as well from the communities, because we are coming from a brick-mortar approach. That's what we have known for all these years. At times, we need a much more effective consumer education in ensuring that our people begin to see the importance of this, because in a bigger scheme of things, this will assist us to reduce the backlog that we have, because as the gentleman that time was saying, some of these technologies, because they're tested, NHBRC, it's here, SABC as well, they are also testing these materials to make sure that they are properly done for our people. But one of the key things is that they're able to build more with less time, but they're also not cheap, some of them. So it's a combination of all factors that you must take into account when you accept this approach. And also the whole issue of greening, because some of them, they talk to the new approach of making sure that within our human settlement spacing, we begin to adopt green strategies in building our houses. And the ones we've seen so far, and we've had a very important summit, we've seen quite a number of different products globally and locally where we can take a competitive approach in making sure that in our space we begin to encourage such an approach.
Let's go to table number 5, because I think communication is a very important issue that you've raised. Botana Nzuza is on table number 5.
Deputy Minister no Kondisi, Mr. Zulu. Mina, in my personal view, is that the government in human settlement has done a lot, more especially in rural areas, to build houses for people that they need. And that is why I was very much excited when the Minister of Human Settlement touched on the channel that needs to be established in order for the people on the ground to view the work that human settlement had done. Because that will also eliminate the ignorance people on the ground that has about the work that has already been done and what needs to be done. And it will also fast track the consultation with the people on the ground, which is also very much important for the government to consult with the people on the ground. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. So, Human Settlements Information Channel, starting when?
Information?
Channel, this communication process. I know that, and I can talk authoritatively about the communication process on the SABC. The BNG series on SABC2 starts on the 10th of June, and that's going to be from 5:30. So with your first cup of tea, you can tune in, SABC2, just before Morning Live, and also on Metro FM every Monday, starting next week on the 18th at 8 p.m. So these will be platforms on the SABC that people at home will be able to communicate with the department, and the department will be able to communicate with people at home.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other vehicles that you will be employing to communicate?
Would like people to make use of Human Settlement Call Center 080 014 6873. I repeat, 080 014 6873. But what is very, very important is know your neighborhood. and find out exactly what is happening around housing and be part of the change that you want to see in society. Houses cannot be delivered by government alone. It needs partnership. It needs participation of everybody in our society. Even the churches, everybody can be involved.
All right, we're coming to the end of time, but last winter we saw some people getting evicted and thrown off their properties that they'd set up. And I'm just wondering, are evictions a thing of the past, or how is this going to be handled going forward?
Remember, in human settlement, we have what is called PI Act, Prevention of Illegal Evictions. We are saying that when the authorities do evictions, they must follow the law to the letter. It's very, very important. And also people must be consulted so that they satisfy themselves that they were part of processes that leads to that call at that particular point in time. But at the same time, it's important that we make our people understand that land invasion is not the solution.
Okay. All right, so I'm just wondering, in fact, I don't know if I've got time, but MMC, if you're here, I just wanted to know about these hijacked buildings. Is MMC still here, Johannesburg? Okay. These hijacked buildings in downtown Joburg that seem to have all sorts of people just coming in. What's going to happen to those? What's the plan going forward? Is he here? Okay, unfortunately he's not here. All right, anyhow, we've run out of time anyway, but perhaps just a final thought, 30 seconds, both of you. Just what would you like to leave our viewers at home about your main themes and your main ideas? Very briefly, 30 seconds each.
We just want to say it's exciting to hear that people are prepared to partner with human settlements. The social contract that we have signed with the people of South Africa, with the banks, with the private sector, with civil organization of civil society is positive, and the youth summit that we had. And the issue of women being involved, being at the center of what we do, and the 30% that is set aside for projects for women, it's exciting. We want everybody to ensure that they participate in this process.
All right, Deputy Minister, you've taken DG's 30 seconds as well, so I'm going to have to end it there. But I think it's a great place to end our conversation, and that's where we're going to have to say thank you very much for tuning in, for tweeting and sharing in this conversation about human settlements. And I guess we're all in this together. Let's work with departments, businesses and institutions out there. Partnership is a big word as well, so let's pull together all our resources and let's see what we can do. From us, though, have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Ayanda?